Okay, let's talk about bangs. If you've got them, you know the struggle is so real. But what if I told you that the secret to perfect face framing bangs every single day wasn't about your technique, but actually the tool in your hand? Let's get into it. Oh, we have all been there, right? You have this vision of perfect, effortless bangs, but the reality is, well, something else entirely. It's a universal struggle for anyone who's ever taken the plunge and committed to a fringe. You know the look. Maybe they're a little fried from too much heat, or they're just plastered to your forehead like a pancake. And my personal favorite, when they flip out at the ends like something straight out of a cartoon. It's so frustrating, and it can make you want to just grow them out immediately. But what if I told you the problem probably isn't your blow dryer, or your fancy technique, or even your hair itself? Nope. It all comes down to one tool, and we're about to expose the single biggest mistake most of us are making. The culprit? Your round brush. Seriously. The secret to amazing bangs has nothing to do with spending hours styling. It's about one simple thing, matching the size of your brush to the style of your bangs. So how in the world do you find that perfect match? Well, we've got you covered. We've put together a simple guide that breaks it all down. This right here is the key to finally unlocking the bangs you've always wanted. Okay, let's dive into the specifics. If you have short, blunt bangs, you're gonna want a teeny tiny brush, like 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. That gives you that smooth, curved underlook without making them all puffy. Now, for those super trendy curtain bangs, go a bit bigger. Think 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch. That's what gives you that perfect, soft face framing swoop. For side swept bangs, you'll want a 1 inch to 1 1/4 inch brush to get that beautiful flow and control, without that hard, awkward flip. And hey, if your bangs are on the thick or curly side, go for a larger barrel, up to 1.5 inches. It gives you way more grab to really shape them and keep the frizz down. Okay, so getting the right size is a total game changer, but it's really just the beginning. The pros have a few more tricks up their sleeves that can take your bangs from good to absolutely amazing. Let's get into them. First up, let's hear from hairbrush analyst Mish Switch. She confirms that for those trendy curtain bangs, a 1 inch ceramic brush is the absolute go-to. And why? Because it creates that soft swooshing movement right at the cheekbone. It's all about that soft movement, not a stiff helmet head look. And this next tip from research analyst Stacy B is fantastic, especially for anyone with finer hair or maybe some of that delicate postpartum regrowth. She says for her clients in this situation, she always reaches for a smaller, boar bristle round brush because you get volume without causing breakage. This is so important. The material of the brush can matter just as much as the size. All right, now let's talk technique. It's actually a super simple 3-step process. Lift, roll, and cool. First, you want to use your brush to lift the hair right at the root. That's where you get your volume. Then, as you're blow drying, you roll the brush under from the roots all the way to the ends. And finally, and this is the step almost everyone skips, you hit it with the cool shot button on your dryer. That blast of cool air is what locks the shape in place so your bangs actually last all day. So Stacey B just mentioned boar bristles, right? And that brings us to another really key choice you have to make, the brush material. You're basically looking at two main options, ceramic and boar. And trust me, they give you very different results. Okay, so here's the deal. A ceramic brush, it actually heats up with your blow dryer, so it acts kind of like a gentle curling iron. This makes it perfect for getting a really sleek, smooth, and shiny finish. A boar bristle brush, on the other hand, is all about creating grip and tension. That's what makes it so ideal for adding volume and body, especially if you have finer hair. So you just have to choose based on the look you're going for. I know, that might feel like a lot to remember, but don't worry. If you only take away 2 things from all of this, please make it these next 2 rules. This first one is the ultimate rule of thumb from editor Ed Shears. It is so simple, but so effective. He says, if your brush is bigger than your forehead, it's too dang big for bangs. I mean, how brilliant is that? Just hold the brush up. If the barrel is wider than the area you're trying to style, it's too big. You're just not going to get the control you need. Simple as that. Go smaller. And this last quote, also from Ed Shears, really just sums it all up perfectly. Getting the right blang brush is like finding the perfect pair of jeans. You'll wonder why you ever used anything else. And isn't that the truth? Once you find the right tool that's basically made for you, the styling becomes, well, effortless. You're not fighting with your hair anymore. You're working with it. And you'll seriously wonder how you ever managed before. So the next time you go to style your bangs, just take a second to look at the brush in your hand. The right one is out there, I promise. And it is the key to having a perfect bang day every single day. So, are you ready to find your perfect match?